What's going on, guys? I wanted to make a quick follow-up video to yesterday's video because I mentioned a few products, and believe it or not, it's kind of crazy, but a lot of times when I mention certain products and stuff, I hear from the companies that I work with. Sometimes people go out and they buy this stuff like right away. So I just wanted to make a quick follow-up and talk about some of the things because I learned a little bit of information. And the last thing I want is for people to go out and buy products that aren't sufficient to what I may have portrayed. But regardless, nothing was really, I wouldn't say anything was like incorrect in that video. I just kind of want to clarify some things. The main thing is this Amsoil Saber. So after reading through comments and stuff, there were not a lot of people, but a couple people were saying that this is not made for power sports. Like, it's not for dirt bikes and quads. It's more for, you know, weed whackers, chainsaws, and stuff like that. And it does say specifically on the Amsoil website, it says two-stroke power equipment. But somebody had mentioned that it says that it's specifically not for motorcycles, and I couldn't find anywhere on the bottle where it says that it's not for motorcycles, and I also couldn't find it on the Amsoil website. So the reason that I had found this or chosen this oil in the first place is because I would say I got about 100 or so DMs of people recommending this oil to me, saying that they've been running it for years. I had people sending me pictures of their pistons when it came time for rebuild, and they were just in excellent shape. They said it's like the best oil they've ever run. It's the cleanest oil. There's not a lot of carbon buildup and stuff. And everybody was just saying to try it. So that was the reason that I did it, why I chose it. But I really should have looked into it a little bit further. So what I decided to do, there's a million opinions. Oil is, especially two-stroke premixes, it's like one of the most controversial topics you can really talk about. So many different opinions, and we all know how that goes. So I decided to just call Amsoil and hear it right straight from them. And I spoke with a representative that obviously knew what he was talking about. I told him, I had a question about Amsoil Saber. He didn't have to go look for the information or find somebody else that knew. He knew exactly what was up, so I'm pretty confident in the guy's answer. Anyways, Amsoil Saber was originally intended for power sports, so it was cool for dirt bikes, quads, and everything like that, and I think it still is good. Why they don't have it in their power sports category, like as an oil, like Dominator or Interceptor, I think is the other one. Those are specifically marketed towards power sports, I should say. They added something to this oil within the past 2 to 3 years, and they now at least advertise and gear this more towards power equipment. So things like I said, like weed whackers, chainsaws, two-stroke lawn equipment, stuff like that. Now, that being said, he also told me it's not going to cause any damage to your motor and it's not bad for it, but it was almost like he was talking around it. He basically, like, what I got from it is that it's okay to use in your motor. It's not going to hurt it for power sports, but this, to endorse it for power sports, they don't do that any longer. That's, like I said, that's their Dominator or Interceptor. So there you have it. That is straight from Amsoil. I personally feel okay running it. I cannot personally endorse this because I don't have actual experience with it. But I also, like I said, I think it's going to be safe to run. I'm really curious to see how it goes. And like I said, I've had a lot of subscribers tell me that they run it, and I guarantee they've been using the newer oil with the additive. I mean, that was 2 or 3 years ago, and I'm getting current pictures and current reviews. So I think that it's going to be fine. I just wanted to clarify that. I know, like I said, no matter what I say, there's going to be somebody who disagrees, and rightfully so. That's just the way the world is. So yeah, I am still going to try out the Saber. And the other thing that I wanted to mention was the ball hone. So also in my comments, and again, guys, I appreciate all the comments, even people that are telling me that I'm wrong. That is how I learn. A lot of people are, they try techniques, they try certain products, and they may not have any issues, but it might not be the best product. But nobody's telling them that they're wrong or that there's something better, so they just go on continuing to use an inferior product or method. This is how I learn. It's pretty awesome. It's actually it's pretty incredible. So anyways, the ball hone that I chose, let me actually pull that up. So this style ball hone right here is what I was originally going to be using, and I'm still not 100% certain that it would be a bad idea to use it. I know guys use it, but some people were saying that they're better for 4 strokes, because in a 2-stroke cylinder you have ports, there's windows in there, And to be honing something like that, it could round out the ports maybe, or like chamfer the edges, which isn't optimal. So people were saying to either use a stone hone or what's called a brush hone. They're supposed to be a little bit more optimal. So it's possible that this hone wouldn't actually harm anything and it would be okay. So I did place a call to Brush Research Manufacturing, the company that makes the Flex hone. Now, I didn't get through to anybody and I haven't heard back from them. It's been about 8 hours. So I may have a future video on that. But what people are saying about the ball hone and how that would, you know, it conforms to the cylinder with pressure. And every time it would go into one of those port windows, each one of the little balls would actually go out and then have to be pushed back in, and I could see that rounding the edges of the ports. That makes total sense to me. So to avoid that, I had already canceled the order for the ball hone, and we're going to be running this Wiseco Flex hone. It's a Flex hone brush. So if you, oh great, there's no picture. So here's a better shot of that Flex hone. You can see they're kind of like, I think they're like hard bristles, and they have a grit in them. And it's supposed to do essentially the same thing that the ball hone would do, but they specifically say right here, safe for 2-cycle engines. So the fact that they actually specify that makes me think that the ball hone might actually really might not be the best option. So it's also not quite as aggressive as the ball hone from what I understand, or using like the stone style hones. So it says removes microscopic peaks and scuffs left after honing. So that tells me that this is meant for after you do a regular hone. So I'm going to use a traditional style hone, which I ordered as well. Those are cheap. I actually have one here, but I decided to get a new one. It's not like a super expensive tool. You have the stones on the end, and all the arms like flex out, and they can actually do a multitude of cylinders. I think this one says it's for a 2-inch to 7-inch bore. So this should work perfectly fine. We'll just quickly use this to hone out the cylinder, and then we'll run the brush through, and that ought to give us a nice finish. A lot of people are telling me to go send the cylinder out for bore. I appreciate the opinions, guys, and honestly, if money wasn't an issue, not that it really is, but it's, you know, everything costs money. So I don't think we're going to have an issue. The cylinder is in better condition than you might think. And I think a hone, I'm going to check the ring gap. We'll make sure if, you know, and if that's too large, if it really does look like the cylinder is out of round or something, then I will send it out for a bore. I just don't think that that's going to be necessary. I just don't have unlimited funds to be just sending it out for a bore and everything. That's not the cheapest way. And then I would have to get another piston as well, because I already ordered the factory style piston. So I'd have to get the next piston size up. It's just, it all costs money, man. So yeah, guys, that's what we're gonna do. I'm going to try the honing method. We'll put the piston in there. I'm not the most weathered builder in the world, but I'm also not the least weathered, and I'm fairly certain that this is going to be perfectly fine. I'm going to look everything over. Like I said, we're going to be doing a leak down test. I'm going to check my ring gap, and I think we'll be just fine. And I'm also feeling like this Amsoil Saber is going to be just fine as well. So let me know in the comment section below if you think I'm making a good choice with the Amsoil Saber and switching from the ball hone to the brush hone. I appreciate all your guys' opinions. I'm curious to see what you have to say. And like I said, just a small update video, and I will see you guys very soon. I'm hoping these products come in the mail super quick. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this content, and I'll see you in the next one.